Hi folks, and welcome to Shit Happens. In today's episode, I want to share with you kind of the cycle from beginning to end on how much of a cheap ass I am when it comes to using scrap wood. A couple months ago, I finished this lean-to. Now there's still some things I need to do yet to trim it out and get a door at the end there, but for all intents and purposes, this is done. So, with my leftover lumber that I had from this, I moved on to making this. This was my rut hut. It's a movable deer blind that I can move from season to season, and I ended up wrapping it in cedar logs, half rounds. And this was a really fun project. I really enjoyed putting this together. And again, this was all leftover scrap wood, the interior anyway, from building my lean-to on the barn. And the cedar was leftover scrap from the local sawmill that I help a guy run. Just offcuts that ultimately end up in the scrap pile. And it just worked out great to wrap this thing with those scraps. And of course, after building this, guess what? I had some scrap left. Let me show you what I did with the leftover scrap from this project. This is what I came up with the scrap from the deer blind. I had some half logs left, some cedar that I milled down from some logs. Now the only thing that I got into this is a little galvanized pail that I picked up at Menards. I think it was $4.50. But anyway, this is a nice little decorative wishing well that came out of that pile of scrap from the blind, that came out of the pile of scrap from that lean-to. But I'm not done. With a little bit of work on the table saw, I was able to mill up some of the scraps from that wishing well to put this little decorative garden bench together. It's just a nice fit out here in this area that we want to get mulched. We can put a pumpkin on it or some mums, whatever. But this is a nice little addition to our little mulched landscape area, just with scraps. I love projects like this. I'm not done yet though. Now as you can see, I still have a little pile of scrap here left. I know it don't look like much. It probably looks like it's destined for the fire pit. And we do love using cedar for starting a fire. It just starts very easily for our little campfires. But I honestly think there's enough here to squeeze out a real nice cedar bird feeder to put out this winter. And I think a couple birdhouses, cedar birdhouses. So I think that's what this is going to end up being, unless I can squeeze another little decorative bench out. But anyway, I just wanted to share with you what I do with scrap wood here in the homestead. I rarely pitch it. I always try to find something to use it for. Sounds like Lori just fired up the mower. I probably should tie it. Well, thanks for joining me here today on Shit Happens. Just thought this would be kind of a neat, fun little short video to put together on how I hate throwing scrap wood away. And it really has nothing to do with the lumber prices, what they were, what they still are. I've been like this for years. As a matter of fact, I've been working on pine scrap. As you can see, I got a bunch of little fence posts cut here. And already out of scrap, I've made 32 feet of this fencing for our decorative area. And I'll continue to make another, 2-3 more sections. But out in the lean-to, I still have another nice pile of scrap pine that's just calling my name for small projects. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, cheers!